when it comes to bass fishing around shallow cover and structure, there are two schools of thought for lure selection. You can cast and pitch around a jig or a weighted Texas rig. Of course, it falls faster and lets you fish a little bit more quickly. Or you can go with a more finessey approach like a weightless wacky worm. Well, I guess you could also throw around a reaction bait like a spinnerbait, crankbait, or a topwater, but this video is not about that. It's about the jig and the wacky worm. But which one is better and catches more fish, the wacky worm or the jig? In this video, I'm gonna put that to the test as I fish them side by side in the same places on the same body of water to see which one comes out victorious. My name's Tyler and welcome to TRF. Another giant, another giant. Look at that, y'all. I can't believe what I just caught. Yes! Now, why compare these two lures? Well, I think it's because they are the two most efficient and widely used lures to catch bass underneath boat docks, which is where I'll be fishing today. Now, the one major difference between these two styles of lures is that the weightless wacky worm falls really slow in the column and the jig falls really fast in the column, but that's kind of the whole point. I want to see if on a sunny day, the bass prefer a bluegill compact looking package or a worm looking. What even does a Senko represent? The way that I'm gonna make this the most fair possible as I fish these boat docks today is I'm gonna alternate. Every boat dock, I'm gonna switch from the Senko to the jig, the Senko to the jig, and hopefully we fish about 50 to 75 docks. We have a good sample size for our experiment here, and we can tell which one catches more fish. Now let's first begin with the old-fashioned wacky rig at dock number 1. Nothing on dock number 1. Switch to the jig for dock number 2. Jeepers, what a cast. Now, throughout this challenge, what is going to count as a catch? Well, anything that I know was a bass that I set the hook on and had hooked for at least a few seconds, that counts as a catch. Underneath boat docks, they can get you all tangled up, they can break you off, and so I don't really want to impact the experiment. Again, this is just which one gets more bites, but as long as I know it's a bass, it counts. And nothing on dock 2, so back to the wacky rig. And a lot of these docks are going to be duds, and so I'm not going to show you guys every single one. From here on out, we're just going to show you guys all the catches, and I'm going to be honest, I really have no idea which lure is going to win. Gosh. There we go. Let's power pull down. That right there is a bass, but what I just scared from underneath the dock, I don't think are bass. I think this dock was full of carp. What an absolute chunk though, my goodness, whoa. All right, dock number, I don't know, 4 or 5 with the jig. Got ourselves the first chunk of the day. Got a 2-pounder. Really, really healthy fish. Thank you, my friend. And if y'all have watched this Versus series before, just because I catch one on the dock or on the lay down or on the rock shoal doesn't mean I put that lure down. So, gonna continue to fish this dock here with the jig, because it's only fair that I flip Senko jig. But there was definitely a few carp underneath this dock when I skipped in there. I'm honestly surprised there was a single bass at all. So, but it feels, oh, there they are right there. Big ones, big old carp. Either way, feels good to get the skunk out of the boat. Ooh, what a skip. What a skip with the wacky rig. Come on now. We're about 10 docks in. Honestly surprised, haven't caught more. But man, I'm getting to a stretch of docks here that are just way too shallow. I mean, like, y'all can see the bottom right here. It is 1 foot to 2 feet deep. And so I can see totally underneath all these docks here. I think I'm gonna lay the rods down, and just for the sake of not wasting time, you know, put the move on 20 and get us somewhere that's got some better quality docks. I mean, like, look at how shallow it is. Almost like hitting the trolling motor prop on the ground. My goodness, these lakes are low. Ooh, that looks good in there. Finally got to a deeper little stretch here. Well, I say deeper stretch. This one's deeper. I'm not sure about those ones. But we're back to the wacky rig. You know, sometimes I pick lakes to do these challenges on that probably weren't the right choice, but we're going for it. There's one. Gosh, dang it. It counts though. I lost him, but it counts because I know that was a bass. Fought way harder than a bluegill did there. When I pulled back, he was he had some oomph to him. Yep, I see him right there. There's the bass that I missed. Okay, 1 to 1. Yeah. I'm not totally sure about that one on the wacky rig, to be honest. Kind of felt bluegill-ish to me. Yeah, I see a whole bunch of bluegill Probably what it was. And I promise I'm not trying to skew the results here when I miss a bite. I'm not calling something a bluegill when it was a bass. I genuinely think, based on what I'm seeing around this dock here, that was not a bass. That was a bluegill. This one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. Whoa. Let me tell you, this trolling motor, powerful move. Ooh, crazy powerful. Almost throwing me out of the boat. We are getting deeper for sure. I think we're gonna have some better luck on these upcoming docks right here. There's a fish. I can't set the hook very hard because I'm under somebody's pontoon. There we go. Nice job, buddy. Keep the pressure up. Get on in here. Yes, sir. Fish number 2 on the jig. You don't always have to ram the hook into their mouth. Sometimes enough pressure like that, consistent pressure, can get them in the boat. Thank you, buddy. 2-to-1 on the jig. That right there was the reason I use 20-pound Seaguar Invis-X to flip docks, flip shallow cover. Because my line got frayed, yes, but I mean, I was holding the line against a sharp edge of the dock for 4 to 5 seconds there. Did not break. All right, back to the Wacky rig. Beautiful skip. A little bit of backlash. Actually, it doesn't really hurt your productivity underneath the dock because you got to let the lure sink down to the bottom anyway. So a few little professional overspool loops ain't a bad thing. And you know what else is not a bad thing? The fact that I just dropped my spring merch line. We got a brand new short sleeve little shirt with a little, what do you call it? What's that thing? Sleeve? No. Frocket, I believe it's called. And on the back, it says, give them the business. That shirt right there is for all you guys who want to just rock a cool fishing shirt around town that doesn't look like you're, going into battle. Long sleeve, hoodie, buff style. So I will leave the link to that down in the video description. One of the best ways y'all can help support the channel is by checking out Infinite Outdoors. Got a cool meaning behind it, and I would really appreciate that. So thank you. A lot of shade under this dock. I'd call this a high percentage dock here, relatively deep. Lots of shade. Power pull down here for a second so I can fish this little section right here under the wakeboard boat a little slower. Whoa, a bass just jumped way behind me. Come on over to the dock, buddy. It's nice and warm. No bass. No bass. What a scam. Gosh, I think that was one. Oh man, I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't think I picked the right lake for this challenge because I hardly got any bites at all. And I just don't think out of this small of a sample size, if I could really give you guys a good answer on what's better, the jig or the Wacky rig. So we're gonna head to lake number 2 on a totally different day and flip a few more docks to get ourselves some more fish. So it is the next day. We're at a totally different lake, but the challenge, the comparison is still here between the jig and the Wacky rig for shallow dwelling bass. I wasn't sure that our sample size was big enough, and so we're gonna fish 20 to 30 docks, and I'm not totally sure which one is supposed to be up because I forgot which one I finished on, but we're gonna start with the Wacky rig. There's one. There's one. Hey, that was a bass, and it counts. 2-2. Now, even though the score is tied up, that bass was tiny. I don't want that fish anyways. But as far as the challenge is concerned, it counts. There's one. Let's go. Another one, baby, on the Wacky rig. 3-2. Okay. New lake, maybe different results. Where'd my Wacky rigs go? Oh, hey there. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I was a bald eagle, by the way. That's something I do every time I see a bald eagle. I thank God for America. Man, a weightless Wacky worm is so hard to cast. Gosh, there's one. I saw him come out from the dock to eat it. But once again, a small one, not even a pound. I feel like these docks have bigger fish on them. Like, I'd love to throw a jig in this dock, but I can't. This here is a Wacky rig dock. Man, I'm really thinking these docks are all too shallow. Like last year I fished this exact lake and smoked them on the docks, but the water level, I mean, it's a good like 8 inches to a foot lower than it even was last year. And so with how clear the water is, how shallow it is, I'm not surprised that I'm catching small fish, and I'm not surprised the Wacky rig is the lure that's doing it. There's one on the jig. Oh my gosh. Not even the right species. It's a rock bass. The heck, man? That's wild. Gosh, man. This is frustrating. I really think the clear water is killing my chances at catching shallow fish right now. They're just not here, they're out there. Good grief, man. These fish are just non-existent. There's one. Oh my goodness, tiny. And I know that was a bass, not a rock bass this time. But once again, the big fish have just vacated this area. So I'm trying to compare which lure gets bigger bites, which lure gets more bites. They're about dead even at this point in terms of size and numbers. Not the results you want in science. You want something to be definitive, you know, to have an answer. And I'm just not so sure if we're gonna be getting a clear answer today. Oh, good grief. Tyler Anderson. See, that's where having power poles is really useful. You try to skip a dock and get a bad backlash, and instead of just totally ruining the dock by getting up onto it, you power pole down, fix your backlash, skip in there, and hopefully set the hook. Nope. Oh gosh, that was one. All right, I say I give it 2 more docks, 1 for each lure, unless I get stuck here, which I did. There we go. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it's happening today. Man, gosh, got stuck. I don't want to wreck this dock. I'm gonna go, oh, and I lost the Wacky rig. What a mess, man. What a mess. So the question we have is, what do we learn from comparing the jig and the Wacky rig around shallow cover like boat docks? Well, the first thing, not much. If you didn't already know, both the jig and the Wacky rig skip extremely well, and they both proved over the last 2 days they can both catch fish up shallow. But which one was the winner? In this video, honestly, there wasn't really a clear winner, and that's okay. I feel like in the fishing community, people are always trying to say what the best bass fishing lure is, and I just don't think there's a good answer for that. I think both the jig and the Wacky rig have their place, and I wish we had more definitive results, but I don't think I'm gonna change my favorite dock fishing lure, and that is going to be the jig. I think it is more efficient, it is faster. In my opinion, it actually skips better. Maybe I'm just better at skipping a jig than I am a Wacky rig, but I think I'm a better shallow water fisherman when it comes to fishing a jig than I am a Wacky rig, and that's just me. Maybe you're different. Well, thank you all so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that subscribe button. I will have all my tackle as well as the merch I mentioned listed down in the video description. Check it out if you can. And if you want to see another versus challenge where I compared the jig and the Texas rig, I will have that up here in the corner. My name's Tyler, and we'll see you guys over in that video.